Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. If not, I'm happy to see you here. And please remember to visit my YouTube channel. Look at my other videos and you might just like it. So I want you guys to join me as I dive into Jamaica's wild ride of current events. This is a reaction channel. We're not here to fight. We're not here to argue. We we give respect here, and we would love to be given respect. Anyway, now let me start from the 48 hours curfews and the imaginary lines to crime fighting warriors and airline seat scams. Plus, a fiery look at how firefighters are battling not just flames, but budget cuts, except laughs, local flavor, and a whole lot of truth. Serve Jamaican style. We go for say Jamaica lifestyle, Jamaican style. Mm. All right, folks. Let's keep this comedy train rolling because honestly, Jamaica got enough drama for a whole season. A soap opera. I mean, a 48-hour curfew in St. Andrews South. That's like the island version of Netflix and chill. But instead of relaxing, you're told stay inside or else. Can you imagine? The police are out there with the big signs. Stay put unless you get special permission. It's like a giant game of red light, green light, but with more serious consequences. Hmm. You know what? And the funny part, they drew imaginary lines to tell you where you can and cannot go. I swear, if I see one more map with dotted lines, I'm going to start calling it Jamaica's version of Where's Waldo. Imagine asking your friend, hey, you know if I can cross from East Avenue to Duane River? And they're like, well, if you follow the imaginary line, you're good. Unless you step outside, then the police will find you faster than you find a patty shop after midnight. Mm. But, really, think about it. 48 hours. That's longer than some of my relationships, and I thought I was bad at commitment. Can you picture some people in a Jamaica just hiding in their homes doing the curfew dance? The kids are probably sneaking out to peek through the window, whispering, Mommy, I saw a police car. Hide the snacks. It's like a real life game of hide and seek, but the stakes are way higher, and the hiding spot is your own home. And speaking of fighting crime, you know Dr. Tufton, the man's out there calling for a warrior mentality to handle the crimes. I love that because honestly, sometimes you need more than just words. You need warriors with big guns and even bigger Jamaican jerk chicken on the side. You know what they say? When the going gets tough, the tough gets spicy. Tough stands basically telling Jamaicans we need action heroes, not just people with fancy titles. And he's right. I mean, what next? Superhero capes? Caped crusaders in Mohawks fighting crime in a Kingston? Tufton also threw shade at the PNP's guardian mentality, which sounds adorable. What do you think? Like they are the cops on the block, handing out lollipops and hugs. But Tufton saying, no, no, we need a warrior mentality, like a lion, not a lamb. And honestly, I think he's onto something because crime in Jamaica is like a persistent bad boyfriend. You try to ignore it, but it keeps showing up, knocking on your door, stealing your peace. Sometimes you got to bring out the big guns, or at least a big stick, or a big pot of coffee to stay awake all night watching the streets. Now let's talk about the political drama, because Jamaica politics is like a soap opera that never ends. Bunting calls Tufton out tough, and Tufton fire back, calling Bunting out of date. It's like two uncles arguing about who makes the best jerk chicken at the family barbecue. Except instead of chicken, they are throwing accusations and lawsuits. And speaking of lawsuits, KD Knight got involved, filing a suit against Tufton. Now that's some serious Jamaican legal drama right there. Anyway, guys, if you watch the video this far, please don't go nowhere. Continue watching it to the end because me just a start, me not done yet. Knights claiming that Tufton played a manipulated audio clip to smear him. I mean, it's like a reality TV episode, except instead of drama, it's like it's legal papers. And the worst part, they are saying Tufton didn't even bother to check if the audio was real. That's like buying a used car without checking if it runs. Except in this case, the car is a politician's reputation. If I were a knight, I'd been saying, listen, I didn't say those words, and I definitely didn't say them in that order. Next time, verify your source, Mr. Minister. Hey, hey. And listen to this. Tufton responds. He's like, I heard the clip and I stand by it. That's like me saying, I heard the neighbor's dog bark and I swear I saw him doing the salsa. No, I'm just waiting for the next chapter because in Jamaica, lawsuits are like blockbuster movies. They come with lots of plot twists and a lot of courtroom action. And then there's the airline drama. Oh boy, here there's a one. Passengers are suing United and Delta for selling window seats next to blank walls. If I didn't know, me daddy do the same thing too. Yeah, you heard that right. Imagine paying extra for a window seat only to find it's just a wall. No windows, no views, just a big blank wall. That's false advertising, my friends. It's like ordering pizza with extra cheese and getting a plain slice. You're disappointed, hungry, and ready to complain. I mean, come on, guys. Airlines, seriously? If I'm paying for a window seat, I want to see the clouds, maybe even a glimpse of Jamaica from above. Not a wall. Next thing you know, they'll be selling ocean views rooms with a view of the parking lot. You walk in, see the view, and think, wow, this is exactly what I paid for. Nope, that's just creative marketing. And what's the deal with the airlines not warning you? They say, oh, by the way, your window seat is next to a wall. Well, thanks for the heads up, because nothing says luxury like paying hundreds of dollars for a seat and then realize you're staring at a wall instead of the beautiful Caribbean Sea. So my advice to travelers, always ask before you buy, because if you're paying for a window, you want a window. None of this fake wall nonsense. And if the airline says it's a surprise, just smile and walk away, because the only surprise you want on a flight is smooth, comfortable ride, maybe with some jerk chicken snacks, if you're lucky. But in the end, folks, whether it's curfew, crime fights, lawsuits, or airplane seats, Jamaica always find a way to keep things interesting. That's what makes it special. because life's too short to be bored, and Jamaica's motto should be expect the unexpected and enjoy the ride. Have you heard about the guys? Me not gonna keep you much longer, but me have to ask these questions. This question: have you heard? And this is not fear to the firemen. Have you heard about the firemen in Jamaica? Yeah, the brave guys who rush into burning buildings, save lives, and apparently are now fighting a different kind of blaze. The one called budget cuts. I mean, these guys are so heated, they are gathering at fire stations to protest like it's a summer barbecue gone wrong. Picture this. Firefighters gather at York Park Fire Station, and instead of gear, they're arming with grievances. They call out allowance. That's what they get for risking their lives and running into chaos. It's being cut. I don't know about you, but I thought allowances were supposed to be like extra toppings on a burger, not the main course of their paycheck. But apparently in Jamaica, allowances are more like the ketchup that keeps the whole thing together. If you take it away, the whole meal falls apart. And get this, these men are working longer hours, capped by limits that are as restrictive as a Jamaican jam session. Just enough to keep the rhythm going, but never enough to catch your breath. They are basically being told, work more, earn less, which in my book is like trying to fill a bucket with a tiny hole at the bottom. It's a losing game. Now, I love how Corporal Bennett had to sneak recordings during the meeting because the officers didn't want anyone to know what was really going on. That's like trying to smuggle in a phone into a nightclub, except instead of dancing, you're trying to keep your livelihood from disappearing like a ghost in the night. And the kicker, the senior officers, the big bosses, they keep their allowances while the frontline firefighters are left with nothing. That's like the captain of a ship eating caviar while the crew is starving and fighting over canned sardines. How can you have moral authority when you're pocketing full pay while your team is living paycheck to paycheck? That's like a police officer telling you to stay calm while he's robbing you. But it gets worse. Conditions are so bad. They're talking about roaches, rats, and no running water. Imagine fighting a fire and then having to bathe with water filled with rat residue. That's not firefighting. That's Ascent from Survivor, Kingston Edition. And these guys are just taking it in stride, saying it's very poor. But let's be honest, that's like calling a volcano a small bump. And the psychological toll, they are dropped, they are dropping dead from overwork, literally. Men in their 20s and 30s dropping like flies. That's not just stress, that's a public health crisis. If I were them, I'd be thinking, I joined to help people, but now I need help myself. That's like signing up for a marathon and realizing halfway through that your sneakers are made of paper. One firefighter even said he regrets choosing the career. Imagine that, growing up inspired by discipline, only to end up feeling like a slave. That's like saying I wanted to be Superman, but now I'm just a guy in a cave with holes in it. And the cherry on top, when the stars asked the fire commissioner for a comment, he said, regrettably, I'm not in a position to comment. Well, that's one way to put out a fire by pretending it's not burning. So, folks, what can we learn from this? Maybe next time you see a fire, see a firefighter, remember, they're not just heroes with hoses. They're also human beings, tired, broke, and fighting a different kind of blaze. One called injustice, because how can you serve at your best when your own station is more than rat-infested, water-scarce prison? My friends, thank you, thank you. You have been an incredible audience. Keep laughing, stay safe, and remember, whether it's a curfew or a fake window or a firefighter starving, always keep your sense of humor handy. And see you back here on my next YouTube video. Guys, remember to share the video, like the video, and hit that notification bell for more videos like these. And I will see you back here on my next YouTube video.